Hey there, Eric here from Farm at Hand. I'm the Customer Success Manager, and I just wanted to take a moment to walk you through some questions that you might have about your hay and grass. So let me get myself off screen here and open up some of these common questions. So oftentimes I hear from farmers who have hay and grass that they'll notice that their field will now show as unseeded, that they will have had hay in that field, but it's now showing as unseeded. So where did this hay go? So let me explain sort of what the app is doing here. Right now we're looking at my demo account here, and you can see many of the fields are unseeded. And let me create the condition for how a field would show as being suddenly unseeded. So let me go into this first Saskatchewan field, let's say for example, and let me go to a past crop year. Okay, so I'm going to set a planting here. And I'm going to set this planting for some hay, and I'm going to set the date for the very tail end of 2020 here. So you can see it's suddenly updated for this field to have the crop type of hay and grasses. Now, I'll just go back quickly to the field list and take a look at that field here. And you'll see that it is still showing as unseeded. I'll just refresh it so that you can see for sure that it is still showing as unseeded. And the reason that it is showing as unseeded is because when we go to the 2021 crop season, you can see it's no longer showing a crop type. Whereas when we skip back to the 2020 season, it is showing a crop type. So what the system is doing is it's expecting a new crop type each crop year. So once the calendar year had rolled over and this crop year is now switched over to this crop year, it's now removed the previous crop and it's now showing it as unseeded. So to jump to the next question then, so how do I get it to, appear into this next crop year? There's kind of two aspects of this question. As we've seen just now, one of the ways that we can make it show as part of this new crop year is to simply add another planting. So we could just add a brand new planting here. And let's just set it, let's say for the first. And now you can see it's part of this, it's now, well, I'll just reload here. You can see now the crop type is now properly appearing. I'm actually going to just delete this planting. So we go back, refresh that again. We'll go back to that unseeded state. Now, one of the ways that you can, I guess, carry over the crop type from last year's into the next year without creating a planting is by adding a crop rotation. So let me add a crop rotation for this current year. And we'll set it for grasses. I can't remember what the area size was for this field, but let's just say 750. Oh yes, and that's 100% of the field. And so when we go back and again refresh, we'll see that the field does now have a crop type. And again, you'll see this reflected in the field list. Now, the reason for this third question, how do we get it to appear as part of my dashboard totals? When we go to the dashboard, you'll see that it's not part of a planting or a seeded area. And that's because the crop rotation isn't a planting activity, so it's not getting counted towards the seeded area. If you did want it as part of that seeded area, then you for sure would be needing to add an actual planting activity. So let me do that now. And I'll set this to the first. And let's go back to that dashboard. And you can now see it as part of the actual seeded area. So hopefully that helps to answer any questions that you might have about managing your hay and grasses in the field. Let me know if you have questions. Always happy to help out. Thanks again.